keep rolling up. I be flaming it up. I keep on pouring up. I keep LA in my cup. Shorty, she on my body. Yeah, she know what's up. She know I got a girl, but she don't give a fuck. She know I got power, and I'm in a sucker. I ain't your average motherfucker, rockin' a Mary trucker. Foreign car, seas, beige color. Off-white look like I hit a say, homie. Me and Tom smoking back to back, we them pain brodies. T.O. finna come home, so you know we finna make it rain on them. Shit ain't no gang, homie. Gang blows brain from my ass for top. Now she giving brain from me. Kicked her out the whip, she ride the train, homie. I'm insane. Smoking backwards to try to ease this pain. I'm just saying.
Today, we back at it like a crack at it. Y'all know what's going on, man. It's Moles and Money. I got the good brother next to me, Great King next to me, that I met here at UCC. Here at UCC, man, we building a network of great brothers, great minds that want to come together, you feel me, and do great things for the community at NYC and all over all over the globe. So this conversation right here is about to get real deep. You understand what I'm saying? You know we got the history segment on Morals and Money called Breaking the Black Barrier, and that's exactly what we about to talk about. This is exactly what we're about to get into, you understand? Because history and knowing oneself is very important, and I ain't realized that until I became an adult. I ain't gonna lie. Like I say all the time sometimes in other episodes and Truth and Gems, I was a little ignorant motherfucker sometimes. Excuse my language. But, you know, I done came to some enlightenment sometimes and did some research for myself to understand that ignorant is bliss, you know what I'm saying? And ignorant is just not knowing. And once you know, you'll change your perspective. And, you know, this brother right here, we had a few conversations to where I'm just sitting there listening, you feel what I'm saying? You got to sit back and listen sometimes and not talk so much, especially when you're around elders. So I want to introduce my brother, Demigod.
Islam to the Moors out there.
Mm-hmm.
We in the UCC. I met Chris at UCC, and it's been empowering. Everybody in the building is very empowering. He asked me to come do his podcast. I let him know I got a podcast, the Guard Hour podcast, 100 Moors. You know what I'm saying? And we had some real deep conversations. And he was like, you got to come to my podcast and sit down with me and talk to my viewers.
For real.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to share viewers because it's a share economy. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. So
and
Islam to the Moors.
And that's building. You feel me? That's building. That's
building.
What we got to do. And when I say these conversations really is like too profound, and it's never a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason, because like I said, I didn't came into information. You understand? You want to ask certain questions, but you don't run into people to really ask these questions. You just read in books, and books sometimes is just from a person's perspective.
Facts.
An opinion. Facts. Right? And that's why they say, yo, Chris, read multiple books. Read everybody's, you feel me? Read everybody's opinion.
That's a fact.
All right? Don't just be biased. So meeting him and then asking certain questions is just what I'm about to do. I had to put him on a podcast. This podcast is not no podcast where we're going to be talking some bullshit, even though we're going to have a segment to where it's for everybody. But our conversations are for us to open our minds and for us to come together as one. You feel me? As a melanated group of people.
Islam.
So please, I just want to ask the question right now. You say Islam and you're a Moor. What does that mean to you, and what does Islam mean?
Well, Islam to the Moorish Science Temple, we represent the Moorish Science Temple number 10, but we're all across the country. There's different factions and different denominations of the Moorish Science Temple, but the principles are all the same. So we got love, truth, peace, justice, equality, freedom. Mm-hmm. So those is our 5 principles for the 5 points of man. But when we say peace, we know and understand that all religions today basically was based out of culture. Religion as a word is a baby word. The language that we speak as indigenous Americans that's been colonized, we speak English, but the language that we speak is faulty. We can't really get down to the bottom of the lies and break down the lies and see what's true and see what's fact, unless you deal with linguistics and you deal with etymology. So when you're dealing with the language, you start to see, as I started to see, that the culture of peace is it reverberates through all cultures and languages. So you see the Hebrews say shalom,
Shalom.
and you see
Yes, Lord.
the Moors say Islam or salam.
Salam. Okay.
Right, and then you see the Kemetic, from the Kemetic science, you go to Hotep.
Yes.
So Hotep, Shalom, and Islam are derivatives of today of different religions and different what we are told what religion is. Because we're going to break down religion.
Definitely.
The word religion is a baby word. The concept is a baby word. A lot of concepts that we use today are babies, which meaning they didn't exist in ancient times. They didn't use these words because they didn't speak English, for one.
Right.
And for two, they didn't have the concept. When you hear a word, you got to understand the concept of the word. Like what's the vibration of the word? Because every word has a vibration. So when you're dealing with linguistics, you're dealing with vibration, right? And you're dealing with frequency.
Get deep.
So the English language is sort of like a bastard language because it has multiple ancient languages.
Right, we
all
got
the way
derivatives
up to
from Latin, Greek,
exactly,
basically Roman and
exactly. But what makes it more dangerous is it's more made up. So they could change it when the Webster Dictionary drops a new edition.
Exactly, it's
they
new
could
words
add
in it.
words. They could take words out. They could say, "Oh, we thought that word didn't mean that. Well, now it means this."
Yes.
So they have created a whole new frequency because their words is even like homosexual and as far as like when you always got a masculine vibration and a feminine vibration.
Right, because
to go with words.
Yo, bro, it's crazy that you even say that. That's why I said every conversation we done had taps into another conversation or something that I done learned recently. Because me learning the Hebrew or me trying to learn Hebrew and shit, even thinking back to when I was learning Spanish, they have the words in feminine and has the words in masculine.
Facts.
Certain vowels mean this and certain vowels is that.
Facts.
And then I'm like, wait, hold up. You know Hebrew is way older than Spanish.
That's a fact.
I'm like, oh, damn, them shits is tied together.
Exactly.
But like you just said, in our language, it wouldn't be that. It's just plural and singular. You feel me? Like, so that's how you know that our language is just like, you have to get to the bottom. And that's why they say words mean so much when you're saying it. It's the context in which you're saying it, and then it's just how you're saying it, your tone, but what are you saying?
What are you saying?
All right.
A lot of us don't know what we're saying because we don't study the English language. We don't have the time. Society doesn't give us the time on purpose, by design, keeps you like a machine, like a robot. Go to work, wake up, take care of the kids, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, take care of the kids. So now you get into a cycle and you really don't have, they make sure they don't give any room for you to be able to study and research or meditate or pray and put those hours in. We was talking about the Buddhist monks, and I was like, a lot of people don't really believe in spiritual science or the chi or certain things, but the Buddhist monks are a perfect example of what the human body can do once you meditate. They not just training in martial arts. Majority of their time is sitting still and quiet. So their power and their connection to the source is this time that they have to sit back and be quiet and just sit in meditation. Meditation is what ignites your chakras. It's what ignites all those superpowers that we watch Marvel comics and we watch all these.
I've never meditated for real, and I ain't gonna lie. I fake one of them people that think that is kind of bullshit. Because just to sit and quiet, what are you tapping into? Like,
see, it's hard. See, now meditation.
My mind is always going, so it's not even like I'm sitting really quiet.
But that lets you know. See, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. There's all roads lead to where you need to go, because you know and understand that to quiet the mind is to become a master. And you said to yourself, "There's so much stuff in your, so it's garbage. All that stuff going through your head really don't matter at the end of the day. At the end of the day, all of that stuff, it's like it affects your emotional balance, it affects your mental balance, and it just affects you daily. That's where we get anxiety.
Right.
We get, you know what I'm saying, we worry about things. But to be able to sit and know and understand that if you know that the God power is inside of you, what are you really worried about? You can manifest and create and come up out of any situation if you just sit still. The answers is already inside you, but if your brain is constantly moving and you don't never sit still and start to control your brain, because let me tell you something. To master self is to master everything from here, the third eye down. So that means you have to master these. You have to master your mouth. You have to master your frequency, your voice vibrations, your heart, your stomach, and your sexual organs. When you don't master those things and those things become out of whack, you have the 5 devils: envy, lust, hate, gluttony. When you don't control your stomach, that's why fasting is not just for a spiritual thing. It's connected. Everything is connected. The biology, the science, the chemistry, the math, and religion is all connected. But the Europeans chose to separate it. It's for control.
So what's the 5th one?
What I say? Envy, hate, jealousy, lust, gluttony.
Gluttony. Okay.
And greed. So it's 7 of them, really. It's 7. But all of those is what's going on inside of you. They're going on outside of you, but you can control the amount of it that goes on outside of you once you control the amount of it that's going on inside of you.
That's a fact.
It's long.
Don't let that go over your head, bro. I know that shit was a lot.
It's long.
That was a lot.
It's long.
My question to you is, my brother, Demi, how did you get into this life of being a Moorish American, tapping into that full-fledged? I know you probably done had different stages in your life.
That's a fact.
And before you even get into that, we had the conversation like we was just talking about religion, that you said to me, you have to take the word religion out of the conversation, out your mind. That's when you have these conversations, how everything is connected. And I said to you, that's kind of hard because like we are programmed. You feel me? Like a computer. When you talking about certain things, you automatically go into a spiritual kind of like conversation or this religious kind of conversation. And then it's like, damn, you don't want to put your perspective of religion into it, but it's like you got to separate those two. So how did you figure out how to do that too also?
I know that I used to always hear the God bodies always talk about the science, and they scientists, and you know what I'm saying, they scholars and scientists to come up with the miraculous, the amazing things that they have discovered in our lifetimes, in the lifetime of Homo sapiens, is because they don't deal with their opinion. They only deal with facts. And analyzation. So when you're dealing with the science are things that can be proven, like gravity and certain things like that. Until you go on to certain other spiritual realms, then gravity don't matter. But when you're dealing with the physical world, and you're dealing with 2 + 2 is 4, not only here but on the moon, you understand a universal language. Mathematics and science is a universal language. So many people like to live in delusions, but when it comes to math, they would never go in the store and give a man a $100 bill for 10-cent piece of candy and let the man give him back $20 change. Right. So that means you got to do the math. So dealing with math is what really brought me. First, of course, I was in a home. My mother was Christian. Of course, I come up in a Christian home.
Right.
I went to Catholic school in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying?
Me too, with the Catholic school in Harlem.
So that
right up the block from where we at.
That right there was the indoctrination period.
Yes.
Because our parents don't know, and they was indoctrinated. That's all. Everything's all an indoctrination period. But there's a point in your life, a man goes through stages of his life, and in the 2nd to 3rd stage of your life, you start to garner your own opinions and your own faith, and you start to do your own research and investigation. So what your parents and family had you doing no longer, sometimes or most times, no longer really hold weight, because you do your own, and then you get into other things. So that's what happened to me. I came in the house Christian, you know what I'm saying? I was incarcerated young, you know what I mean? Sparford, Woodfield Cottage, 13, 14, and there was older boys there, and they was mimicking the older guards, you know what I'm saying? They always was talking about the science and the knowledge. But it wasn't until I graduated to the big house, and we talk about prison, and they demonize prison, and our own community demonize prison. But I think that prison is like a cave. So when you put a man in a cave, he's able, if he takes advantage of the time that's his higher self has given himself, because his higher self is actually the one making the decisions, and know that he's going to end up in prison and put him through situations where he got to make the wrong choice. So that's really him doing it to himself. And when he sit himself down, if he takes the time out to meditate, read books, do the knowledge, it will change his opinion about the world. And it won't be his mother's and father's opinion, because that's what we get in the first stage of our life. When we babies, we get their opinions.
Yeah, facts.
And
the world,
and we hold on to theirs, because we make theirs ours.
Yes.
But there's stages, the second to the third
and that's
stage
what people
of your life,
don't understand.
Through adolescence and coming into manhood, you start to ask questions and start to do your own research. So that's basically what happened to me. I was around the 5%ers. I got knowledge with the 5%ers, and I don't master 120. I never said I mastered 120, but I do have the 120, and I go back and I study and I research and I use that as a blueprint to all the other knowledge that I'm dealing with. And it's basically right. You feel me? So when I'm dealing with the science,
what exactly is the 120? Like, what?
120 is
because the 5%ers,
the highest lessons that you could.
For me, the 5%ers, that's just a group that I've heard of. Like, you know how people say they never even heard of the Hebrew Israelites, or they just think those
so
the
you
people
don't know
that's
the
yelling.
history of the 5%ers.
Don't.
I'm gonna break down the history to you, but the 5% nation is Islam.
Right. Okay.
That's a piece of Islam. That Elijah Muhammad was not teaching to everybody.
Okay.
Remember, every practice, every belief have a secret part of it that the masses is not getting. You know what I'm saying? There's an esoteric. That word, that esoteric, means the mystical, the spiritual. That aspect of things aren't really given to everyone.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Because it could be dangerous in the wrong hands.
And not everybody can even grasp the concepts.
Exactly. So when you're talking about the 5%ers come from Nation of Islam.
Okay.
The father of the 5%ers, who we say called the father, Clarence X, he basically was ejected from the Nation of Islam.
I've heard of Clarence X,
That's
because
the father
of
the 5% nation.
because of the Malcolm X story and everything else like that,
So
and then other brothers from being Black Panther and stuff like that. I've heard of him. I just didn't know he's the founder of 5%.
So those two brothers were Elijah Muhammad's best students, Malcolm X and the father.
Okay.
The father was on heroin.
Okay.
So they constantly gave him warnings and told him, stop doing the heroin, and he didn't stop. So they ejected him from the Nation of Islam. And of course, he went to the street and he got locked up. But he took his lessons and he started to teach the lessons in the prisons. So this is where 5% Nation, those lessons are still official lessons.
Right, yeah. I know people still go by those.
You know what I'm saying? Those is official lessons. But those is lessons that Elijah Muhammad, some of the lessons Elijah Muhammad held back, because at that time, he couldn't tell people that they was God. He couldn't tell Christians that they was God. You know what I'm saying? That the God power, the God source is inside of them. They've been taught to use religion as a crutch and depend on a Caucasian face or depend on a religion. So that's where we're going to try to run through a couple things at the same time. So we knocking out two birds with one stone. That's where the 5% Nation comes from. So Noble Drew Ali came, right?
Yes.
Noble Drew Ali, one of his first students was the father, Master Fard Muhammad.
Okay.
Master Fard Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali dies. Master Fard Muhammad now goes and teaches Elijah Muhammad. When Noble Drew Ali died, Elijah Muhammad was a boy, so he wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? So when he died, Noble Drew Ali died, Master Fard Muhammad took the science and now he taught Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad started the Nation of Islam. His best students was Malcolm X and Clarence X. Malcolm went to the public eye. Clarence X went to the prison. So that's still Allah working. That's still the mystical divine powers of Allah working, because we wouldn't have the 5% nation right now if the father ain't go to prison with the lessons.
Right.
So Allah was doing Allah's work, because you got to remember at that time you had brothers that couldn't read or write. So we was coming out of slavery, we was coming out of the Jim Crow and all that. So that time was very important. So Allah always works. It doesn't matter how. You feel me? So that's how that came about.
So Noble Drew Ali, and you said the master taught Elijah. So before Elijah, there was no nation.
No, there was no nation.
Everybody just was being Muslim.
No, everybody was Muslim, Christian.
Okay.
Was Christian and Negroes.
True.
That means there ain't no knowledge of self. You feel what I'm saying? So Noble Drew Ali basically set off a chain of events that led to where we are now with Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
Yes.
So when we dealing with religion, though, let's break down the word religion. Religion.
Definitions, concepts, and all.
R-E-L-I-G.
La.
O-N.
Ion.
Religion. Rely on.
Rely on it.
This is what you rely on, right? In culture,
Syllables.
in ancient culture, there was no word to
Say that you was a part of a group.
No, there was no word for religion.
It was just being spiritual.
That concept didn't exist. You understand what I'm saying? The English language. We're trapped even in the language that we speak in. You feel me? So you got brothers, Hebrew brothers, Israelites arguing with Moors arguing with Christians, Christians arguing with black
get into
Muslims,
that too.
but they all speak in English.
Right.
So that's why they all arguing with each other. You feel me? The Moors are the ones that are closest to the fact and the truth, because they deal with linguistics and they deal with etymology. It's Moorish science. Moorish science is not a religion. We're not a part of a religion. We are a part of a bloodline and a descendant of nations that practice a culture of Islam.
Right. But the Israelites, like my elders that I speak to and deal with, they would say it's not a religion as well. This is a lifestyle, and we are a bloodline that is true from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So what do you say about that when it's not just a religion aspect, but yeah, they get grouped in with the part of being in a religion or having the part of that faith being dedicated, because they would say being Islam is a religion as well.
It's been turned into a religion.
Right.
Just the same way Christianity
and like we spoke about
Catholicism is Christianity and Catholicism is the commercialized Hebrewism.
Definitely.
It's commercialized.
I definitely can agree with that.
And when you're dealing with Hebrew Israelites, that's not a nationality. Hebrew Israelite is not a bloodline. It's not a bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Hebrew is a language.
That's a fact.
It's not even a race. It's not even a race. So you need to talk to your big brothers. I mean, you know, the elders in the Israelite temple, and bring these facts to them. That's not Hebrew as a language. It's not a race. It's not a nationality. You understand? It's a faith. It's a culture with faith. But Abraham was a Moor, and that was his nationality. You understand? Political, you have a political status and you have a religious status. Like back in ancient times before we was colonized, we spoke Hebrew here. We spoke Arabic here.
Yes.
We all was Moors.
Both of those are Semitic languages. So now when we get into that and you saying we all was Moors, break that down. And your definition of that, we all was Moors.
Moor, again, I just broke it down to you. Political status. What is your political status? What is your nationality? Black is not a nationality. Hebrew is not a nationality. Israelite is not a nationality. What is your nationality? Your nationality is connected to the land where your ancestors come from and who were your ancestors.
Which would be Abraham, Isaac, and Job.
Okay.
Jacob.
All right. Moors.
See, the only distinction is where was they calling themselves Moors? They have them calling themselves Israelites.
How do you know that? You speak in English.
True.
You speak Hebrew?
True. Yes, I've been learning Hebrew. So
Okay,
I
so
don't speak it fluently,
okay,
because we know there's different versions of Hebrew. You got the Yiddish now that's not a part of us, and you got the ancient version Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew, and then you have the newer version of Hebrew. So
exactly.
It's different. It's just.
That's what I was about to bring up. Abraham was born where?
They say he was born in damn, I can't even say the land of Canaan, but around Egypt.
No. Abraham was born in Babylon, which is modern day Iraq.
Right.
So that's the Middle East.
Yeah.
So now, when you know and understand what Babylon was,
geography,
right, and who was ruling at that time?
Before Nimrod.
Yeah, this is Abraham is way before
Nimrod.
Yeah. Phoenicians, he just brought them up. So you got the ziggurat pyramids, and that's the reason why Bush went over there. You got the epic of the Anunnaki, and you have all of these other stories of these are the descendants of Abraham. Those was Moors. They got fezzes on. When you look at the statues, most of the statues, everybody got fezzes on. When you see them with a headdress, that's a fez.
And explain what a fez is.
The fez is
and its significance.
The significance of the fez is to venerate and crown the crown chakra, yes indeed. But even more so, it's about the upliftment of the mother goddess. Before colonization and before misogynism, because if you look at once you study your own culture, you start to see that the divine feminine plays a more bigger role and aspect in our culture, our way of life, the way we think, and what we do. But after colonization by the Europeans, misogynism and male chauvinism has taken over because that's their culture.
Right.
That's why they show you the man dragging the woman out the cave. When they show you cavemen, that's actually their history.
Facts.
Because they came from out of the caves. So we're going to speak facts, right?
That is a fact. Don't cancel us.
When they tell us stories about the cavemen fighting over the women and then they drag
Why you think
the women
Geico
out
made
the
that
cave
commercial?
with the club and all that, she has no say-so. That whole thing is a part of European culture. And we have adopted that as Moorish American men. We have adopted the slave master's culture. That's why we treat our women the way we treat them. So we know and understand that when they came to Africa, they seen how we venerated the mother goddess. And in this headpiece right here, right? This right here explains the anatomy of the woman. This is the black hole, the place of creation, uterus, right? Right? This is the nipple. This is the umbilical cord. This is the astrology of the stars, the geography of the stars. So when you break down the zodiacs, there was a 13th zodiac in African culture.
Okay.
The 13th zodiac is Zodiacus, the African woman, the melanin woman. She was the 13th sign. So you had Cancer, Capricorn, Pisces. Why'd they take her out?
Never even heard of that one.
Why'd they take her out? So when we know and understand, when we dealing with the beginning of history, we deal with a lot of male chauvinism, even in our own cultures, as far as like American culture.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to see that the woman had the position that
you
she
saying
had.
that though, even you saying that though, and shit, sometimes I even break it down in my head. What do you think about the pyramid of shit? Not to even bring up the religious groups or spiritual groups, but even how our book is read: God, man, woman, child. What you think about that then?
God, man, woman, child.
Yeah.
0, 1, 2, 3. It's mathematics.
Exactly. So
God is 0. Man, woman, child. 1, 2, 3.
right. So with that being said, is that even a misogynistic way of thinking of it? Because even though we should put our women to the highest pedestal,
I think, yes. Because just like, all right.
because I know.
Let's go back.
To cut you off. I done broke that down to my female friends that way. You feel me? Like, it's that's the way it was positioned from the Most High.
There's a reason why.
So with that being said, is that misogynistic type shit? Like, you feel me? Is that misogynistic?
No, it's mathematics.
Let's get into that.
It's mathematics because
back from the little commercial. I hope y'all love our little commercial that we have. You feel me? I hope y'all shop Last the Flying Breed. Demigods, I got some merch. We gonna put that at the bottom of the description. Let them know what you got, bro.
we got some shirts. We got
Y'all see
hats.
what's going on, Morris
You know
America.
what I'm saying? We got jackets. So come check out the apparel.
The bag is
More
crazy.
Money
I ain't even gonna lie. The bag is crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Got
We
the fitted going on.
We got the fitted.
Y'all know
Definitely
what's going
tap
on,
in.
man. We talking history, but my man is a whole entrepreneur as well. I said, you feel me? He's a king.
That's a fact.
But before this conversation ends, we're gonna get into all that. He's gonna get the rundown. We're gonna
That's
get
a
the
fact.
IG. But my son is a king, man. I'm learning a lot from him. You know, you gotta learn a lot from the elders. Business is most important. You know, you gotta
Indeed
keep this
so.
currency going.
That's a fact.
But we're gonna keep the conversation going, learning a lot, man. But like I said, I had to ask about, is it misogynistic that even from the Torah, for me, from the Torah to the Bible, to all the religious groups, to how, like we just said, America, how we think about life, you feel me? Every man kind of has this misogynistic way of thinking. Is it bad that the pyramid may be God, man, woman, child? You feel me? And
The reason why is because it's mathematics. So that it's the same mathematics that's on the chessboard. Chess is created from mathematics. That's why the boxes are a certain amount of boxes. The pieces are a certain amount of pieces, and the pieces can move a certain amount of numbers. That was how mathematics of Egyptians created the game of chess. And the reason why the man is next after God is because we hold the life force within us.
facts.
The sperm that we have is the life. So you get rid of us, you could basically destroy our species.
Yes.
So the penis is more dangerous than they make it to seem. You know what I mean? It has a lot to do with genetics of survival. So genetic survival for the melanin penis is dominant forever. So the woman has eggs in her, but the eggs are the ingredients for a human being, but nothing is alive.
Right.
Her eggs aren't swimming around inside of her. Like we both, me and you, got 5 million sperm cells between us both right now swimming. So that's 5 million people.
Damn, that's damn near half the planet, right? It's
Nah,
like
that's
a billion
5.
and
That's
trillion.
New York City.
That's New York City alone. That's New York City alone.
And that's why they try to lower our
sperm count. That's a
through our
fact.
food, especially in the prison. You know what I'm saying? They do certain things, especially give us estrogen.
That was going to be one of my next questions, because you know every time we tap into a topic, a question got to pop up,
Yeah, it's a
because people don't understand certain things. We so caught up in this. I don't even want to call it a matrix, because it's like, damn, that was a movie, right? But we so caught up in this lifestyle, or caught up in this way of life, just going by our day, that we don't really sit back and think about what we doing sometimes, or think about the shit that we watch, or think about the things that we entertain, you feel me, on social media. So how do you feel about, you feel me, they say demasculization. What is that? Or no woman wants to acknowledge it, or when we do acknowledge it, we on some conspiracy shit. Like, bro, they do want to lower us as melanated black men in this world.
Of course.
And it's not just in the jail cell.
Of course.
Like, everybody think it's a problem that we may be not condoning the certain communities.
The reason why ties back to being a Moor. Mm-hmm. The reason why ties back to being a Moor, because the Moor is, once they can wipe out the indigenous descendants, or some wars are not meant to kill you, it's just meant to take over your mind. Mm-hmm. So when I say wipe them out, I mean turn them into zombies. But they can continue to own this land. The Mexicans don't have to go. The Mexicans are Americans. Mm-hmm. The Americans, see, the reason why you don't understand is because they have taken a part of history out.
Right.
The Moorish Empire is connected to the Egyptian Empire. The Moorish Empire is the Egyptian Empire. The Egyptian Empire turned into the Moorish Empire.
Okay.
And the Moorish Empire stretched from Mongolia to Canada and everything in between. Okay. So when we say we Moors, that was our political nationality. The world knew us as that. Mm-hmm. And it's written in hieroglyphics, Moor.
And when you say knew us as that, you talking about us melanated beings.
Exactly. That's why the Romans came with the blackamoor. Mm-hmm. But black doesn't mean more. Don't let people tell you that. Black doesn't mean more.
Yes, we had that conversation last week.
Why would they say black or more? That means they saying two words at the same time. Mm-hmm. And why would they say it twice? If black meant more, why would they do that? Mm-hmm. So we got to know and understand. It's really third grade education that we forget to deal with as we become adults, and we let these Europeans put the brainwash on us.
Shit, we don't even learn in the third grade.
Adjectives, nouns, pronouns, verbs, linguistics, derivative of words.
They don't even do that no more, bro. They don't do phonics no more. They on the laptop.
That's a fact.
But like you just said, to turn you into a zombie. Damn.
So we
don't let that go over your Don't let that go over your head, bro.
This land is ours. The indigenous, the Cherokee, the Choctaw, the Blackfoot. You know what I'm saying? We had a nation here. We had the Constitution. Now, make it make sense. Make it make sense. The men that came over here, they were geniuses?
Hell no.
Where did they come up with the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and how to run a government? Where did they come up with that?
They stole everything.
They stole it.
They stole
from
everything.
The people who was here. So they put in Hollywood that we danced around fires and we looked like the minority indigenous people that was over here, which is the Hawaiians and the Samoans and those type of looking people with the long black hair. Mm-hmm. So they paint their faces and they put this in Hollywood, and they did have done this for generation to generation ever since the creation of the television and the movie screen.
Which was in the 1950s. So getting on that of the 1950s and just the decades and the time period, and like we said, our parents, your parents maybe being indoctrinated, that's basically why.
That's basically why.
Because when people don't really realize it, they only had 3 channels. Black and white TVs, and if you ain't have no money, you ain't have no TV.
That's a fact.
So everybody was watching the same thing at the same time. It's not like today where you could keep flipping the channel, got DVR, got Netflix, or got Amazon and everything else.
That's a fact. And before
everybody
the TV,
got told the same thing at the same time.
The radio was the TV back before then.
The radio. And then it was the newspaper.
Sitcoms. They listened to programming. So you got to understand the words that you're speaking. It's programming. Mm-hmm. So they telling you what they doing to you. Oh, you going to watch a television programming. Tell lies to your vision, programming. So they programming you. So they have programmed us to think that we black, Negro, colored, African American, niggas, bitches, and gangsters, hoes, pimps. All of this is a programming.
But all programming.
Who were you before that, though? Who were you before that?
People can't even answer that question. No lie, I was stuck on that question for a very long time.
You was Moors. So through Abraham and the tribe of Moab, and the ancient Canaanites, most of the people in America are descendants of the 12 tribes.
Yes.
All those 12 tribes are all related.
Yes.
So why
and
we
that's
act
why
like
those
they
12
not?
tribes, that's why it's so funny that when it gets back to it, and it is all of these separation of us as a people, of being an Israelite, being a Moor, being a Muslim, being a Christian, and then being nothing because you say you don't want to be tied to any one of them.
Education is the key.
Damn.
Education is the key, because if everybody had the education, we would be able to agree on the facts. And the facts is, more is your political status. Your religion and faith could be Christian, Muslim, whatever it is.
Okay.
But that's why the political status hold weight, and that's the reason why you see Moors going to court and being treated different.
Show them your card, though.
That's why you see Moors flashing the identity card. So when we come across these policy enforcers, we can let them know that, yeah, we got our paperwork right. We know exactly who we are. You understand? Because they know who we are. On the CDC website, they don't call us black and African American. One of the Moors broke it wide out. He basically got into the CDC website and basically showed us, yo, we labeled as Moors. Why would they label us as Moors? And then when he hit the button on Moors and went through all the options, it was all the tribes you just mentioned.
Wow.
What was the tribes you just mentioned?
Wow. Choctaw,
Your grandma?
Choctaw, Chickasaw, Navajo, Blackfoot, Washita. Like, it's
Cherokee.
just so many. Cherokee,
Seminole.
Last
Last of the Mohegans.
Tuxahora.
Let's talk about the Mohegans.
Tuxahora. Like, it's just so many. Like, I ain't gonna lie, damn.
The Mohegans
and
is
it's
235
anybody,
right
but
now.
that's so funny because everybody, while we was growing up, as I was growing up, not we, because you would be my elder right now. As I was growing up, all we heard was just one was Cherokee. You feel me? And yeah, I could just attach myself to that because people was asking me, oh, why your hair so good? Or you ever had a perm? Or you look at my mom's and her hair is mad straight. So it'd be like, or you feel me, different curls and shit. It'd be like, I don't know, we got some Indian. That's all you gonna say, you got some Indian.
According to history, the reason why you hear Cherokee first is because Cherokee were the first to amalgamate into the European and assimilate. So that's why they are spoke of first.
One of the
and
5
spoke
civilized
of-
tribes.
Exactly.
Keep tapping into breaking the black barrier.
But they'll tell you
King Willow.
that you can't find a true Native American today. Why are they saying that? Why are they saying that? They saying that because you are the Native American. You are the indigenous. I didn't come from Africa. I don't have family in Africa. I can't go back to Africa. All my family pictures and all our history is from Blackfoot, Cherokee, and Choctaw.
But no lie, my father didn't even
And
know
Cuban. And that's still American soil. You're American.
As me and my brother cousin did this and went into this and dived into this research, and he dived into it way more than me. Our parents didn't even know this shit, bro. Our parents, my father just thought he was our ancestors was just a slave.
That's a fact.
You understand what I'm saying? So this shit is like
Passed down through generation. This ignorance has been passed. So when you look outside and see the ignorance in your communities, you have to attribute that to that. Because of the ignorance that's been passed down as master's degrees, associate degrees, because these are people who have these things. They have masters and associates that they don't know the real history. They've been duped.
seriously, I really had to ask one time. You ever ask yourself what African American history classes are somebody taking? Like, what are they teaching? You ever asked it? Because no bullshit. Because when we talk about this type of shit, what are they teaching?
And that's it. It don't go past that.
That shit is mind blowing. For real, for real.
You got two continents. You got two. That's impossible to have a man's creed be connected to two continents. How? You got African and American. But at the same time, here's the diabolical part. When you standing in America, you standing in Africa. When you standing in America, you're standing in North Africa. When you're standing in South America, you're standing in South Africa because the continents was connected.
Yeah.
And we was here.
Yeah.
There wasn't a time when when the dark-skinned man did not walk this earth. So you got to know and understand Pangea. We was here.
Pangea, understand it. I've been
So
trying
when
to
you
tell
talk
y'all.
about linguistics, America in Moorish Latin means Morocco. So you're standing in Morocco when you're standing in America. So that's why the American flag and the Moroccan flag and Morocco, the kingdom, has so much significance to the United States government. Because this land, before colonization, was known as Morocco.
You know,
the
nobody
greater
ever,
West Morocco.
You know nobody ever, because I know I never
The Al
peeped it,
Morocco.
but nobody peeps that.
Oh,
Nobody
the
peeps
Moroccan
that.
flag and the
Nobody peeps that, because I know I didn't. And I've watched Trump do a press conference and all that. I've watched Biden sit there and try to, you feel me, talk to us.
all the presidents got it. Got
Even
the
Barack,
Moroccan.
even
That's a
Barack,
fact.
you know, even we was, that was a proud moment because I was only in 8th grade. You know, y'all niggas, we was loving that shit. First black
He
president.
even made an announcement about how he wanted to thank Morocco for being the first nation to recognize his country, which he was speaking for the Europeans. You know what I'm saying? Which he's European in his mind.
Yes,
So
yes.
he's
That's a fact.
actually speaking for himself.
That's a fact.
But our country went to war with the Europeans and we lost. And that's why we are where we at today. We are booty. African Americans, Negroes, blacks, and coloreds are booty. Booty is spoils of war. We
Booty,
are-
yes, like a
booty.
like a motherfucking pirate.
Exactly. We are booty. The pirates are Moors. Pirates are Moors too.
Yes, I heard.
Those are the
I heard
Moors.
those. Yes, I heard
Because
those.
the Moors sells the ships. Europeans didn't build no ships. They thought the land was flat, and if they got in the water, they would fall off. West Africans was the first ones to build ships. Everybody in the world had to buy ships and buy navigators. That means you have to buy ships and men to man the ships.
Right.
So that's why when they show you in Hollywood, you got the Caucasian captain, but he has a crew. So we know and understand that no Europeans were selling ships back at that time. It was only Moors selling ships.
Yeah, that's bro. I'm telling you, that's the program shit. Like, god damn, in my head, every time I hear Christopher Columbus, I think of a white man face. Every time I think of motherfucking certain people, George Washington, white man face. You feel me? Like, it's certain like. For you to even say that, that's really blowing my mind. Like, what, this nigga was a Moor? Like that angers me because it's like, damn, you was a traitor. Because why would you trade your melanated brothers in?
For money. This is
That shit-
every
that shit
nation
mind-boggling.
has that though. Chinese have people who betray China. Like, it's just what it is. It's more of the nature of man. The nature of man is either you gonna be a devil or you gonna be a god.
Like
so
you
either
said,
you gonna move righteous or you gonna move
Like you said, with one of the five, that's a fact. It's
That's a
greed,
fact.
lust, jealousy.
Islam.
You feel me? But we gonna finish up with this one last question that I got for you. One, and you gonna run down all your businesses that you got going on. But what would you have told, as you being an elder, what would you tell a young brother or told your young self with all the knowledge that you know right now? What advice would you give somebody?
Don't listen to nobody. Don't listen to what the school is telling you. Do your own research. Read your own books. Get your hands on as many books as you can, and read everything.
But what if a person is not a good researcher, or if a person, it's hard to get those type of books that you know about. You feel me? Type shit. Like some of them books that y'all got as an elder, them shits is costing $200.
That's a fact. But there's brothers like Destruction of a Civilization. You know what I'm saying? There's brothers out there. There's a lot of authors out there that were American Moors who got their education here and continued their education across seas and wrote books. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of books out there that's cheap. You know what I'm saying? Jim Crow is one of them. You know what I'm saying?
That's definitely on my list.
So we know and understand the information is there. So like I said, it's about what you choose, man. If you choose to be a god or you choose to be a devil. If you choose to be lazy or you choose to do the work. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes work to be who we are. You feel me? People look at me and be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? and they probably envy certain things about me, but it took work to get to where I am. I didn't just come out like that, you know what I'm saying? I had to go through things, and I had to read and evaluate myself, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say to the young brothers, like, it starts with reading, man. Reading is fundamental, and if you can't read, don't be afraid to tell somebody you can't read to help you learn how to read, because it's not hard. And once you read and open your mind, your imagination, and that third eye starts opening up. Start eating right. When you eat right, that third eye start opening up. You know what I'm saying? Drink a lot of water and start meditating in prayer, man. And you right there, study, meditation and prayer, and eat right.
That's a fact, man. And just like that, Morals and Money, I appreciate Demigod for coming through. My Moorish American brother.
Oh, so I wanted to say before, I wanted to shout out Hammurabi Bey, which is Dougie Fresh father. You asked me how did I come into the temple.
Yes.
And Hammurabi Bey, who is Dougie Fresh, the legendary hip-hop Dougie Fresh, his father basically brought me into temple number 10, introduced me to Nature Bey, and it's been history. I've been a student and a teacher at the same time.
You definitely taught us, and you taught Morals and Money.
You could definitely get in touch with me at my website, moremoneyent.com, and hit me up on all social media platforms, official Demigod. Islam to the Moors.
Salute. We out.